Go. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Parental Guidance with the Base Fam. I'm Ian.
I'm Taylor, and who's this?
I'm Madison.
Who's Madison?
Who are you?
Taylor's big sister. Oldest big sister.
Yeah, this is the one I've always been talking about, how I made all my mistakes with. What's up, Maddie?
Hey, Dad.
She's really nervous, guys, so don't.
Yeah, come on, give her some claps, some applauses in the comments field when you see this. Tell her she did a great job. Maddie's visiting from New York, Nueva York. She's hanging out with us here in Colombia. So, Maddie, talk a little bit about yourself. Who are you? How old you are? And come on, do it. It's okay.
I'm Madison. I'm 22 years old.
Riz her. I mean,
What? Riz her?
when they say Riz, I mean, I know, like,
I'm in
Girl.
the army.
What else? What do you like to do?
I have a boyfriend named Junior.
Cool.
What do you like to
What
do?
do you like to do?
I like to go on adventures and do like outdoor activities.
Girl,
She does.
I like to listen to music. Guys,
What music do you like?
Yeah, what music
I
do you
don't know.
like?
I like R&B music. That's my
Hip-hop?
favorite. Yeah,
Drake?
hip hop. Drake is my
Who
favorite.
got you onto Drake, man?
You.
boy.
That's
else?
really it about.
How do you feel right now?
I'm nervous.
It's alright.
I get camera shy.
Okay. Okay. So.
Okay, so we have Maddie on because hold on to the mic.
Okay.
We have Maddie on because Maddie and I were talking earlier in the week about like being the oldest sucks. So the episode today is about being the oldest sucks, the oldest sibling, the oldest child in the family. How they have to pay for a lot of prices for everything, right? Like you paid a lot of. I remember I was just telling Maddie about like I beat Caleb with a belt, and she was like, "You beat me 20 times with a belt." She had to tell that in my face. She was like, "Yeah, you beat me 20 times." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Maddie." So Maddie, does it really suck being the oldest?
Yeah, kinda.
Why? Tell me why.
I feel like because you do everything first, so like your parents are so young and they're like learning how to be a parent, and you're a bad kid. You don't. You're just
definitely.
You're
I don't
figuring
think
it
I don't
out.
think you were a bad kid. I think you were just a kid, and I didn't know how to handle kids, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I was
said
a
both.
little bad.
Both.
Nah, Maddie wasn't bad. She was just a normal kid, and I didn't realize she was just being a normal kid. So my wife and I, we try to do our best, but give some funny stories. Well, anyway, before we do funny stories, so talk about like being the oldest and having Ava being born and Taylor. Remember when you said that you hated them so much?
Go.
I was so mad when we had to keep going to the hospital because it felt like every year my mom's stomach was huge.
Were you jealous? Cause
Kinda. I remember when she was pregnant with Ava, I felt really jealous. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? Like my mom's not gonna think about me anymore. Like not actually, but when you're like,
so sad.
But then I ended up loving all my siblings. But every year she was like pregnant. You guys were always having kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if this is gonna stop. It didn't stop, so I was like, well, how old was I? Like 10 or 11?
That's funny.
Yeah, because I'm like 10 years older than Caleb, and so that's 10
It was
years
like
of my
every 3
life.
years.
That
Yeah, it was like every 3 years.
she was.
It was every 3 years.
Yeah, we went on vacations. She was pregnant. She couldn't get on the roller coasters.
She's over there in the kitchen, by the way.
She's making us lunch. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And then I learned how to share.
Yeah, girl didn't know how to share.
It was just weird. Like it was just being me. It was weird. Like then having more siblings, but it's the best thing ever having siblings.
So Maddie, like, so punishment. Like, I know we were talking about just like getting belted twice. So like, do you feel that you got like the short end of the stick being the oldest with punishments? So name a time that you felt like your punishment really sucked?
Out of all the times.
No, but there's a lot. Maddie has
There's
a
a
lot.
lot
She
of
mentioned to me earlier in the week, so she could go ahead.
Well, there was one time I remember when I was younger and I was hanging out with my friend and I was kind of like a big kid. Like I wasn't that little.
How old were you?
I was probably like 12.
Okay.
Yeah, probably like 12. Yeah, not 13, maybe 12 or 13. And my friend came over and I think I said something fresh, like something about like coconuts or something.
What?
And we had a laundry room, and my best friend at the time, it was me and her, and my dad took me into the laundry room and spanked me in front of my friend. Do you remember that?
When you were 12?
Yeah. That was like
I probably did that, and that's why I always say like Maddie hopefully forgives me for being such a bad dad. But that's actually I didn't.
You didn't remember
I don't.
that?
I kind of do, but I don't.
Yeah, remember the laundry room?
I'm sure you remember. I'm sure they're all true stories. By the way, Maddie is not lying. These are all true stories.
Another time I was in middle school and I had Snapchat. Like Snapchat was like a new thing, and I had a really good friend in my social studies class, and he posted something on my Snapchat like saying a bad word. And
I literally remember that. I remember when you guys came over that. And I was little too.
And my dad posted on my Snapchat saying Maddie doesn't know how to. What did you say? I don't remember.
I said like, "Hi, this is Maddie's dad" or something like, and Maddie doesn't know how to be responsible with her phone, so I think it's getting taken away for like a couple of weeks. And you're like, "Why would you post that?" And she started yelling at me. And she started yelling at me, and I was like, "Keep yelling at me. You're gonna lose it longer and longer and longer." And she was like, "Fine."
It was really embarrassing.
Maddie was so mad. I think that's probably the baddest I think Maddie's ever been at me ever.
And then I was banned from Snapchat for like a really long time.
Tell us about the TikTok one. I mean the Musical.ly one that you told me like yesterday.
Oh yeah, I was also in middle school, and like TikTok had. No, it wasn't even TikTok. It was Musical.ly, and the R. Kelly song "Ignition." I like had just developed like boobs and stuff, so I was posting on my Musical.ly account to that song. How did you even see it?
No, I heard you doing it. I was in the kitchen. First of all, what does boobs have to do with anything?
No,
like you, like
that's the story though.
like I thought, like oh, like that was cute, and like all the
okay.
boys were like, you know, I don't know, that was like
those cringy
Going through
Musical.lys you used to
puberty.
have with the side part and the braces. It didn't give.
it definitely didn't give.
It definitely did not give. Girl was chopped.
Then I got Musical.ly banned, and I didn't get it back until TikTok was a new thing.
So I'm glad that you weren't on the what is it, spanking your kids okay thing? Because I must have spanked Maddie probably like 1,000 times. Because Maddie was for me my first daughter, and I made a lot of mistakes and I had anger issues, but I think like when she was talking about the R. Kelly thing, I think I just had gotten saved, so I was really religious. Also has something to do with our old episode being too religious. Definitely a big mistake on my part. So this is so good that we're talking about this, because that's why it sucks to be the oldest. That's why this is such going to be a good episode for, especially for all you oldest siblings out there. You're gonna be like, man, I can relate to Maddie. It really sucks being the oldest, right, Matt?
Yeah, definitely.
So what did you feel growing up, being the oldest and having to? I mean, me and your mom didn't really put a lot of pressure on you in taking care of the kids, right?
No, not really. It was more just like you guys were really busy. Like they were at church like a lot of times during the week, so.
How did you feel like when you started working and your siblings were growing up, but you started really growing up? Like you started working, like I remember one time 3 jobs. You had like bagel, then you had Gap,
Yogurt.
and then was it
the
yogurt?
Frozen yogurt.
Was it King
No,
Kong?
I was
I know you were
doing the dental still. I did the dental.
Oh, you did
people
dental,
and the
Gap,
bagel
and
place.
bagel place. I remember you worked 3 jobs at one time.
Yeah, I did do that.
That's the most I've ever heard somebody work.
McDonald's when she was 15.
14. No, she was 14.
Yeah, that was my
14.
first job.
Girl was a workaholic. That's one thing we could talk about Maddie. Maddie's not lazy. She works her butt off. But as far as like being the oldest and taking care of something, there was no like I feel bad about putting all the responsibility on me taking care of the kids. We never did that to you, right?
No, it didn't feel like that. It was kind of just like they were really busy, but not in a busy where it was like
You had to take.
I had to take care of the kids. It was more just like being a helper, which I don't really think that kind of just comes with being the oldest. Like if you guys are like.
But okay, how about chores in the house? Let's talk about chores, Maddie. Cleaning the cat litter.
I did all of the chores, and when the kids didn't do their
Come on,
chores,
talk bad about Ava since Ava's not on the thing.
okay, Ava never did the kitty litter.
But girl, those were your cats. You can't be complaining.
Ava had
The oldest always is the kitty litter.
Yeah, I had the kitty
You
litter.
haven't done the kitty litter. So I don't
Okay, but that's not my cat. That cat hates me. I'm not cleaning her poop.
Yeah, I had a lot of chores.
Name your chores.
I did the kitty litter. I did
Garbage?
the dishes.
No,
the-
talk about
okay.
the garbage, how you scared
No,
me.
I hate the garbage. So we first lived in like a quorum house, and it was like on the corner of the street, but it was like a 4-way intersection, and there was always raccoons at nighttime. And we had to take out the trash Wednesday night after church when we got back from church. And the raccoons would come and chase me while I was like throwing out the garbage, and then I would run and I cut myself really bad one time.
they saw their twin.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Taylor.
bad. Taylor. No, but that's so awesome that Taylor's so like nice to me on the podcast, so it's good that she's making fun of somebody. Unfortunately it's you. How about the Manorville house, Maddie, when you were scared to take out the garbage in the Manorville house? It was so dark.
It was really dark there. There was no lights. And the woods were right there. And then I had to walk the dog in the morning at like 6
Talk about
a.m.
Milo. Talk about when you lost Milo, how mad I was at you.
Yeah, my dad was always mad at me.
Huh?
No, I didn't lose him. He was a really big dog and he ran away. And I was like literally Caleb's age trying to take out Milo. Milo's huge.
You came back, you're like, Dad. And you were like crying with tears. You're like, I lost Milo in the backyard of whose house was that?
It was Nico's
house. You're like, I lost him. Like, can you help me? I'm like, I'm gonna kill you, Maddie. You already lost Max.
I didn't lose Max.
I was so
either.
mad at you because you lost Max.
I didn't lose him.
Because you were like looking into like the sky, looking at.
Dad, he dug a hole back
I know,
there.
because you were looking around and you weren't watching. Remember?
I was like in 4th grade.
I was so mad at Maddie for losing Max, but then I got over it. But I blamed you. But
I didn't lose him.
I bet we were a bad family. We didn't really take care
Dad,
of him.
no, we weren't.
I feel like we were.
To Max?
We lost him like 3 times.
He ran away. We didn't get him neutered.
Okay.
He wanted a girlfriend.
So let's ask Taylor how her like viewpoint on Maddie being a big sister.
Like, okay, so when I was little, I don't really remember you a lot. Like, actually, like when I was 4 or 5, because I mostly spend like most of the time with Caleb.
Yeah.
But then once I started getting older, let's say in the Manorville house when you were like 15, 16, like 16, 17, I feel like you were never really in the house. Like, you were always outside the house with your friends.
She did what?
Yeah.
And also because you were working
And I had cheer.
and school and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But,
You had a boyfriend.
And I had a boyfriend.
like, we would hang out sometimes, but I felt like, I don't know, we wouldn't really get along since we were, like, so far apart in, like, our age.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't really get along with you. And it was just, like, we've never been, like, really close.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like now we are, but before, like, we really weren't close. These past 4 years in Colombia. What do I say? I don't know. Maybe it's just like on and off. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't. Like, there's like we have our phases, but every time, let's say we go to Florida, like we're in the States together, like we visit you, like
Yeah.
we're like closer now since I'm older,
Yeah.
and like we can talk about certain stuff, and like I can bully you because you're so dumb sometimes. So yeah.
So, Maddie, do you feel like you see your like we've been in Florida. We've been in Medellin for 4 years. Do you like when you see them grown up? Like how do you feel about that? Like the last 4 years about Ava, Taylor, and Caleb.
It's definitely really weird because I think like the littler kids, like they don't really remember. Like I did a lot of things with them. Like I would set up like I remember always like setting up games. Like we would dance all the time. Like remember I would make them do like choreography, like to all like the Mac video. We had like a Mac in the living room. Like I feel like I remember doing a lot of fun stuff with them when they were little. But I think it seems more like, like you don't really remember when you're little. Like you just remember like doing fun things, but they were little. And then I started going through puberty, and then middle school, and then high school, and then I was away a lot, like with cheer and stuff, and working, and boyfriends and friends. And then I didn't really want to be home like ever at all.
Which is, I think, normal, right? For as a teenager.
Yeah, I think it's normal. Like you just start getting like interested in like seeing what's out there and like having fun and stuff.
So Ava told me this one time. She's like, "It's nothing against you guys, you meaning you, mom and dad, but is it about like you just not wanting? Not that you don't care about your family, you just don't want to be with your family all 24/7, right?
Yeah,
Like you want
it's
to have your
not
friends
personal.
and you want to have your own environment, right?
Yeah,
I feel like I took that personal when you were younger, because
yeah,
I felt like I was like, why does
definitely.
she want to hang out with her dad and her mom or her family? But then now I kind of get it because Ava said the same thing when she was young. She's like, I love you guys, but I can't hang out with you guys all the time.
Yeah. I mean, if I could go back now, I would do it differently.
You would do a
Like,
little bit more.
yeah, I would definitely have done it differently. And like, when you're a big sister, you don't really realize like pushing off like you're like you're like, oh, get out of my room, like you're so annoying. Like you would take it
You did
back.
that. You've done that to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was like growing up, like I'd be like on the phone with my friends and I'd be
that's
like,
true.
guys, like get out, like I'm talking to my friends or like. But when I got older, when I was younger, like I remember like loving being with my siblings, like doing everything with them when I was like a kid. And then once I hit like being a teenager, I was like, oh, like I just want to be with my friends all the time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that's normal.
Yeah.
I think like I just remember like such a difference of because I mean 3, 6, 9. That's like 9 years of age difference, right? Like you're what are you 22 now?
Yeah.
And Caleb's 10. I mean 12. So it's like 10 years.
13.
Oh, Caleb's 13.
But I'm almost 23.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's kind of like a big age
Yeah.
gap, especially between Taylor and Caleb and you.
yeah. Like even me and Taylor are almost like right now like
Almost
7 years.
6, 7 years, right?
Yeah.
But I think you did a great job as as you got older to show them like what hard work is. That you were always working. It's not like you were just bumming around, hanging out with guys all day, hanging out with friends all day.
Yeah, I didn't
Like
do
you
that.
showed them like, okay, Maddie's a hard worker. She's working for this. She's a cheerleader. I think that it's really important to show those attributes as well. And I was talking about this in church today because y'all didn't even go to church. But I was talking about this church was a lot of times we just remember the bad things, right? And I said, with God you remember the good things, but even like with family, sometimes we just remember the bad things.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the good things? So I'll ask you that in a minute. But like, I'm sure you can remember a lot of bad things that I've done or your mom's done. But I'm sure you can, if you really think about it, all the good things that I've done and your mom done, or even like your siblings, right?
Yeah.
So I remember one time, I don't know why I'm going to talk about this, but this is one of the things I was so mad at you because I was like, what kind of big sister she was. I had men's group. Remember, I had men's group on like Friday nights,
Oh,
and I had Kate, and I was taking care of Caleb, and I heard a big bang. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah.
So allegedly, Maddie had Caleb on a table, and that dude just fell on the floor.
Okay, it was a really short side table, and the bedroom there was twin bunk.
No way.
There was twin bunk beds in there, and I had Caleb, Taylor, and Ava in there. And I would do this every week, so I had to like try to start making things like fun because they would get bored just watching the same like Victorious on the TV.
Victoria. Oh my gosh, you brought it back. You said Victoria.
Yeah, and so I was trying to make it fun, and I'm like, okay, Caleb would cry because he wanted to be held. Caleb liked to be held. Like, he always wanted to be held.
That's why he loved you so much, because you kept holding him.
Yeah, so on Friday nights, I would hold him and then try to play with Ava and Taylor, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, Caleb, like, I need 1 second. And so I sat him down on the table, and I don't know what he did. I was helping Ava and Taylor with something, and boom, he just fell, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my dad's gonna kill me.
And I wanted
because we were going to like Colombia.
I wanted to kill you because
the next day we were going on vacation.
Caleb came down and there was like blood trickling down his nose. Like, what did you do to him? Did you try to kill him? But it's such a big difference because now I see Caleb just love you. You spend so much time with Caleb. You hold him, you call him.
Yeah.
So I think things change after a while. So let's move away from all the bad things for a while, and let's think about some good things between you and your siblings. Oh, actually, we did that already, kind of. Like, it's up to you. Do about me and your mom, like all the good things that you remember about me and your
mom. Like they were really fun.
Oh, you're having a hard time.
Girl, don't start it. Good memories.
I'm just trying to think of like
the good stuff,
like something that you can like sum up, like.
No, just the good stuff, like what you learn, like all the good times.
They're really funny.
Vacations.
And they're very easygoing. Like,
Sometimes.
Yeah, just not when it came to getting in trouble. But like, other than that, they were pretty like easygoing.
How about like every time we went to the amusement park, we went to Sesame Street.
I don't really
Splish
remember.
Splash?
Splish
You don't remember
Splash. I
that?
remember Splish Splash.
How about Dorney Park?
Adventure Park,
Dorney
Dorney Park.
Park.
Yeah, I remember
You
all
had
that
good
stuff.
times.
Yeah, they were like really like fun.
Your
with
mom
stuff
would always
like
ride on the
that.
rides with you.
Yeah, they were very like activity involved, like parents. Like we always did something.
How about school shopping as the biggest kid?
Yeah,
Like,
school shopping was fun. Yeah,
You always had the good stuff.
yeah, I did. I always got the first stuff, and then they got like the hand me
Oh, yeah,
downs.
so true.
Getting friends, that's like $1.
They were good hand me downs though.
No, Maddie had some good Jordans that she.
Yeah, I did.
Maddie had like all the Jordans. But,
I always look pretty like good. Like I
Yeah.
always look put together. Like my parents never let me
Especially-
look messy.
Yeah, your mom was such a good. Like she didn't want you to look, busted and going to, especially first day of school. You'd be like,
Yeah,
dripped.
first day of school.
Maddie would have all the night, like anything Maddie wanted. She's like, I want that. I'm like, all right.
Everything from Marshalls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would go to Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Burlington,
Yeah, they were like
Walmart,
really good about that
Target.
stuff.
Yep. What else, man? So
Like holidays and stuff were a lot of fun. Like they always made it
Christmas?
really special. Yeah,
you got everything you wanted for Christmas?
yeah, I did.
That's
I
good.
did.
All right.
It was fun. Everything was like I remember it being really fun.
So, what would you say as the oldest kid? Just before we're not signing off yet, but we have some time. Like some advice as the oldest kid for somebody who's watching here who's dealing with some type of setbacks or some type of feeling some type of way, being the oldest kid, being yelled at all the time because she's the oldest. A lot of responsibility on them. A lot of basically getting all the brunt of it because they're the oldest. What would your advice be?
I think maybe to not take it so personally. Like I took everything really personal, and I'm really sensitive. Like I'm very, very emotional.
Definitely.
So everything, yeah. Like I had like now I understand that as I get older. When I was younger, I was just like I don't understand. Like they're my parents, but like now that I'm in my 20s, I don't know how I would be as a parent right now. Like in my 20s. So I can understand, like, I probably would have not, I don't know. I can't say if I would have did the same thing or did it differently. I don't know, one day. But I don't know yet. But I think not taking it so personally. And, like, I think if you don't have, like, reciprocative, parents, like, when, like, me and you didn't have a good, like if it's
Relationship?
black and white, I think you just have to pick and choose, like, your battles. You just let it go. And when you get older, you just decide, like, to do things differently if you didn't like it that way. And you just make something new for yourself if you don't like what it was. And eventually, like my parents have changed so much getting older. And maybe, like, going through with Ava, Taylor, and Caleb and them getting, like, bigger and going through the same things. And maybe seeing that it wasn't just me or, like, it's not just you or I don't really know.
You have anything to say?
No.
I think that's so true because I remember just even when we were in Colombia, I remember I got mad at you here because you started playing some music with cursing in it.
Yeah, I did.
And I was so mad at you. And I was like, Maddie, who do you think you are putting cursing here? We don't do that here. And now I'm like, yeah, whatever. Put whatever song. It's all good. It's entertainment. It's not like it's going to kill us. It's not going to change anything that God's made us to be. I think there's time and place for everything, of course. You're not going to do that all the time, but there's times to listen to worldly music, like we talked about the music episode. So I think like you've seen like just the growth in us as your parents. But I think like that's really good advice that Maddie gave, not to take it personally. Even as parents, I don't think we should take things personally with our kids because a lot of times, like I think we talked about this with Taylor too. A lot of times it's not even about us; it's about them, like how they feel, what they're going through, their hormones, sometimes the anxiety, what they're dealing with in school with bullying sometimes, or fitting in, identity, all that good stuff, right, Tay? I know you wanted to say something.
No, I was gonna say that you were too religious, but
It's true.
no, but I was gonna say that also as like a younger sister, when you have an older sister that you're not really close with, I think like I don't know, our relationship has been like very on and off, but I think when you're so like far apart in your age, you don't really have like the opportunity to be close because I mean you were close with Ava, I was close with Caleb, and like for me like you were never there, but it's not because you weren't there, it was just like it was hard because you were older, and like when I was younger you were going through puberty and having your friends, so for me also, like, don't take it personally if you're a younger child, because like your older siblings are gonna go through other stuff that you don't even know why, how, like, so yeah.
I have something else to add.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
When, like, also as an older sibling, like, you can't feel bad for doing things, like, for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I felt a lot of that, like, as I was getting older, like, not being home. Like, when I first started doing it, like, I felt really, like, I felt guilty because I was like, oh, like, I'm not there as much, like, I'm not home. Like, I know, of course, some of that, like, I would take back now. But even, like, kind of deciding what you're going to do with your life, like, moving out, leaving home, like, it's easy to feel like guilty about it and feel bad, but like because like your younger siblings are like 10 years back, they're
Mhm.
going to go through the same thing
Mm-hmm.
when they get to that age. They're just not at that age yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's so true, Maddie, because I tell Taylor all the time because she feels bad like when Ava's not like kind
yeah,
of
of course.
like present here and she's like doing her own thing. I said, Taylor, you're gonna feel the same way. So I feel like with Maddie, I just think it's balance because I think like I was telling you before we were going to Colombia, right? That you need to hang out with your sisters.
Mhm.
You need to hang out with your sisters, and I feel like maybe you tried maybe once, but I feel like in my opinion, it's just my opinion that you didn't, and there was no balance. But I feel like, but if that's what you wanted to do, okay, that's what you wanted to do. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just what you wanted to do. So I think that's very good that you said that. Like you can't feel sorry for what you want to do because you try to not live this life with regret, right? Because then like you'll regret everything. Like then I didn't hang out with enough with my friends. I just hung out with my family, or I didn't get to do what I wanted. I just had to do what my family wanted. So I feel like if trying to find that balance, I think.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So not only as a parent for myself, but like any parent out there watching this video, this YouTube podcast, what would your advice be on dealing with the firstborn as a parent? And you could say it as me or what I did wrong or what your mom did wrong, whatever. Like be as honest as possible. Like what do you think is a good like advice for the people watching that are parents to the oldest kid?
I think be a little bit more patient and don't expect like to have a kid and like the kid be a yes man. I think it's like easy when you're like it's the first kid, like it's just gonna be like yes, 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 and that's not like then you grow up and you end up with people pleasing kids. Just say like yes to everybody and then they are like it's hard to say no.
That was really good.
Because I went through like a time where like people would overwork me and like I would be like going beyond limits because I didn't really know how to say no. And obviously it's different doing it for your family than doing it for like strangers or like people that you work for and things like that. But there's a good like you have to learn how to set your own boundaries. And I think as a parent you have to be like understanding that your life like is different. Like I had like like my own like unique situations and you have to be like really just a lot of patience and a lot more communication and not like so expectant because you can't expect a 12-year-old to understand what you're saying as like a 30-year-old or a 20-year-old because you already live that and they're going through a different experience.
Yeah.
Do
you feel like you've learned, like I know you don't have any kids yet, hopefully
no,
not yet.
I want one. I want a niece.
Shut up.
Oh no.
Oh no. Do you feel like you've learned? Okay, so for example, I never had a dad and I had a mom, which was not really there much because she was working 2 jobs all the time. So I had no frame of reference. But the fact that you had a mom and dad, do you feel like you have a little bit better grasp of what not to do as a parent because of what our mistakes were, and what to do as a parent and take the good things, of course?
Yeah, I think I definitely do.
Do you feel like you were blessed having both parents?
Yeah, I was. Definitely.
No matter how bad I was or maybe at times your mom was? Yeah,
I do.
So do you feel like that's so important, like as a family structure, is to have 2 parents?
Yeah, I think you definitely need to have 2 parents. But it's obviously okay. Like if it doesn't
I'm just
work
saying
out that way or happen, but ideally like I think girls like really seek for like male validation, not in like a negative way, but like as like a growing girl, like you need a dad to tell you like a lot of things that it's not the same coming from your mom, but then you need things like from your mom that you don't need from your dad.
That's so true.
So
yeah, your mom tells me all the time, like, babe, the girls want you to be this, and Oh, let's throw it back a little bit. Do you guys remember I used to wrestle with you guys all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't talk about Spider Pig, Maddie. That's a good memory.
I forgot about Spider Pig.
You remember you used to love Spider Pig?
I love Spider Pig.
Where's Spider Pig? What is it? Tell the people what Spider Pig is. You don't know what Spider Pig is? No, but like what I used to do.
Yeah, I know what that part is, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
It was like one of the episodes where he was taking a pig, and the pig had dirty hooves, had dirty feet, and he put the pig on top of the ceiling, and his wife wanted to kill him. And he was like, Spider Pig, Spider Pig. So I would do it to you guys, and your mom would be like, babe, be careful. Babe, be careful. And I used to do it to you till like you were like 10.
I was a big kid.
I was like, Dad, do it to me. So, and then you started getting heavier. So I was like,
Yeah, I do remember that.
But I feel like that's such good advice, Maddie, because in anything, like when you're trying to do this parenting thing, this is why we have this parenting podcast, right, Taylor? Is because I made so many mistakes because I didn't have a frame of reference, right?
Yeah.
So I had no dad. Like the only thing I knew that not to do was be an alcoholic and try to kill your mom with a gun, because that's what my dad tried to do. So other than that, I didn't know I didn't know how to change Pampers. I don't know how to. I remember one time I was so mad at you because you failed. Was it math? And then we had to go to summer school.
Oh no, reading.
Was that reading? And I was like, Maddie, you know how to read. You love books. How did you fail reading?
Girl, so dumb.
So I would memorize the books.
Yeah, Maddie would memorize the books but I was like, you know how to read. She's like, I don't know what I did, Dad. and because of that, I had to wake up every morning and take her to the bus stop.
Yeah,
I was so mad. I was like, Maddie, we're not doing it against this. But it was so funny. Like those things are the funny times that I feel like, looking back now, the things that I don't remember, I'm sure you could tell me a lot more because I'm old. But to see how you guys are, you're old. Like you went on a plane here by yourself. You do your own thing in New York. It's so cool to watch your kids grow, and it's so cool that you get to move on and you still get to love each other regardless of all the mistakes. And we're still working at it. I don't think we're there. I think we still have a lot of work. But you've seen the growth and you've seen the difference in me and your mom. And I've seen the difference in you.
Yeah.
Even just the last couple of months, the difference. Because, just like...
Side note, I think that you become what your parents are.
So, yeah, speak on that.
Like, I think, you replicate as much as, you don't want to believe it or you don't think that it's true.
Or you don't want to be.
Or you don't want to be. You do partially become, how your parents are. Good stuff and bad things, too. I was never really angry. And then I got older and I was,
because of
really angry.
Yeah, you told me
And
that.
then I started, yelling a lot. I started, getting,
freaking out, yeah.
Yeah, I would get, really angry. And I was never really like that. And my mom wasn't like that, but you were like that. But I'm not, I'm
just you took
saying.
it there. I was thinking about just turning off lights. I was like...
that too.
No, that's good.
No, but that's something
good.
important. That,
that's really good.
Even, not having two parents in the home, then either a mom having to be, a mom and a dad, or, a dad being a dad and a mom, they're going to replicate what they see.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I think see, I was gonna take it a little bit smaller scale because I turn off all the lights because my mom used to do that all the time.
Yeah,
it's you don't pay for the electricity, and I'm like, Mom, who cares? It's just electricity.
That's so true.
Yeah,
but it's true now that I pay bills.
Oh, so annoying.
When you were on your own, right?
Yeah, and I
turn off the light. Don't leave the TV on.
A lot of what they said was true.
I'm in my room, right? I turn the light on. Go to my brother's room 1 second. Left the freaking light on. I'm coming back. Relax.
No, it's so true though. But even on a bigger scale, like Maddie's talking about, her anger. That was me. I was very angry. Am I so angry now?
No.
No, it's fine. Well,
But Taylor would especially know.
I mean, you have your times, but it's not
like the way you.
Not. Yeah, definitely not.
Thank you. Okay. Just need a little validation. Okay, we're gonna end with this. Well, we could keep going. If you have anything else more to say, Maddie, do you have anything? But I want to end with this because this could probably take 5 to 10 minutes. Would you change being the first in line for the siblings, or would you rather be the youngest like Caleb? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
They want to say something.
I think there's something extra special about being the oldest sibling, whether you weren't the best one. There's still something about that order's never gonna change. You're gonna grow older and your siblings are gonna grow older and they're gonna be in the same place that you were in before. and they're going to need your help, and they're going to want to ask you questions. And like, I think all those things are really cool, and you get to be like, there's no, well, until you have your own kid, but like, there's no love like you have, like I have for my siblings. Like, I would die. Like, if anything happened to them, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay. I've cried on this podcast. It's okay to cry.
Girl starts crying. I would take a bullet for them.
No, but really, I'd be really sad. Anyways, being the youngest seems pretty fun.
Okay, so
Because you get it last. Like, everything's like, you know, like, it's so much calmer. Like, I feel like the parents are at their best. Like, they had so much time to, like, figure everything out and stuff. But there's also something really cool about being, like, Taylor. Like, Taylor's, like, really, like, the middle kid.
the youngest
And I
daughter.
think that's cool. They're, like, glue. Like, I think they kind of, like, melt everything together and, like, I don't know.
I think so speaking from being the youngest in my family, I was the baby, so like I was treated very different than my sister. So my sister's the oldest. And I feel like she had to go through a lot of things that you went through. And like kind of bear a lot of, for me I feel like the oldest always has to bear like a lot of stress that the parents can't bear.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, so if me and your mom are like tired and thing, like, Maddie, go clean up the kitchen, or go clean the cat litter, or
Yeah.
go sweep, or go clean your room because I'm pissed.
It's like Cinderella.
Yeah, it's like Cinderella. It's kind of like, yeah, we can call it this, I guess, Cinderella syndrome. But like, I feel like that's the biggest thing that you have to bear our excess anxiety, stress, because you're the next in line, right?
Yeah.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Like a fair assessment? As the youngest, I feel like I was a baby like Caleb. Like, I got away with a lot of things. Like, I tell the story about like how I used the bathroom and I wiped my butt on my brother's towel, and then like he wiped it on his face. He wiped it on his face. No, let me tell you why. My mom protected me from him. My mom's like, leave your brother alone, and he's like, Dad, Mom, he wiped his butt on my towel, and I had to take another shower because I had doodle on my face. And he wanted to kill me, but I'm the baby of the family.
I'm so mad at
But you know that story. I told you that story.
Yeah, but I can't believe you're saying it right.
That's okay. But like that's part of the being the youngest versus the oldest. Like, you wouldn't get that grace.
Yeah. No, you
As
would
the
get in
oldest.
trouble for it.
Yeah, you would be like, why did you do that to your younger brother's towel?
Yeah.
Imagine you did that to Taylor's or
Yeah.
Ava's or Caleb's. You would have been in trouble, right?
Yeah, when they cut their hair and I had nothing to do with it.
I got mad at
You
you.
thought it was me. You thought I cut
I don't
her
remember
hair.
that. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But then they
Well,
found out.
because
that it
Ava
was
lied.
themselves.
Ava lied. Ava said,
I thought it was me.
yeah, Ava lied and said it was Taylor. And then later we found out it was Ava. Like, yeah, you look like an egg. But
Oh yeah, it was Taylor who cut her.
yeah. No, we didn't. I don't ever think I blame Taylor.
No,
Maybe it was
like,
your mom that
no,
thought it
you
was-
guys didn't blame me for it. But like, you know, when like you're automatically like, oh,
In trouble.
yeah, like
I think
why did you let your
automatically in trouble.
sisters do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
But I didn't get
you're
in trouble
automatically
for it.
in trouble if you're the oldest. It's
Yeah.
like, who punched the wall? It was Maddie. Meanwhile, Maddie wasn't even home for 5 months. Like, she wasn't even here.
that's true.
No, what was funny? Taylor, tell it real quick. Let's end it. Well, we'll end it soon, but tell the story about like the whole when you recorded Maddie, and I was calling. Was it on TikTok or like
Oh
a
my
video?
gosh.
Yeah,
Wait, I don't.
it was like we were
Oh
moving.
yeah, so we were moving, right?
This was so funny.
And I was just like making a Snapchat, and then I don't know what Maddie was doing, but
No,
Dad was calling Maddie, Maddie. She wasn't responding.
Yeah.
I mean, she was responding, but my dad was deaf because he's been deaf because he's getting old. So I was like making a Snapchat, and then Dad's in the back, Maddie, and then I kept replaying the Snapchat. And then Maddie kept hearing the Snapchat of that saying, Maddie, and then she's like, what?
Because he's always calling my name from downstairs. And I'm like,
Maddie, and then she was like, Dad, what?
And meanwhile, I was in the bathroom, like, I'm not even calling you. Who's calling you? And you're like, Dad, you've been calling me for like the last. I was like, no, I haven't. I'm in the bathroom. And Taylor and Ava started laughing. You played a trick on her. Do you remember? That was so funny. That was one of the best times, I think.
yeah, because he's always yelling my name from downstairs. Like, he always needs something.
I'm like, Maddie!
No, I'll never forget. One time you were calling my name you were literally already on the couch to get the remote. For you.
He was that?
I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's literally right here. Like he could just sit up and get it.
Oh yeah, that was bad, but that was fun. That was bad.
That was not fun.
That was not
I'd be
fun.
like in the middle of doing my makeup to make like musicallys or whatever.
You'd be like, Dad, you called me. I was making makeup. So you wouldn't change being the last. You like being the
No,
first.
I would stay it.
So let's recap real quick, or let's just end it with this. Like being the firstborn sucks, right? Sometimes,
Yeah.
not all the time, but most of the time.
But like 90%.
Do you feel like you had you got the brunt of it all the time?
yeah,
chores?
definitely.
So like with chores, with being reprimanded, and just responsibilities.
Yeah.
But also the oldest, you get like a car. You get like
Yeah, you get that stuff first.
you got the nice stuff
Yeah.
first. Well, I mean, it wasn't a nice car, but you got a car.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he was nice.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
thought.
You thought, you got a car. It took you to
True.
point A to point B. You got to hang out all day.
That's true.
But any last comments, thoughts, Maddie? How'd you like being on the show?
It was good. It was a little nerve wracking.
But you did great. I
Are
think
you
you did.
nervous now?
A little bit, yeah.
Really, you were great.
I'm
Wasn't
like
she great?
really hot. I'm really hot.
Good advice.
Yeah, good advice. You really spoke well. I think that people will be blessed by all the stuff that you said. You had a lot of good comments, a lot of good nuggets, a lot of good feedback for the audience, for parents, for kids. Us parents, like I always say, we're not perfect. We're gonna still work at it, and we just learn, And I think this is a good outlet for us, for having Maddie here for the short time. She's leaving on Friday, unfortunately, but for her to be on this to show, to give her insight as being the oldest, because Eva's the middle and Taylor's the youngest girl and Caleb's the youngest sibling. Period. But for her to give her insight, her being the oldest, was really awesome for you guys to kind of get it and see how it was. And you hear me talking about Maddie all the time on this podcast and all the mistakes I made with her. So my mic's dying. We gotta say bye. Peace out. We love you. Thank you for watching the podcast.
Bye.